I am super excited because the Fallout hype train is in full effect. Amazon Prime's Fallout show, and I'm about 100% convinced it's going to be good. I definitely know it's going to be good. It could range from good to great to awesome. I think it's going to be at least great, personally. I just feel really good about this like I did with Last of Us. And we all know how that one turned out. This is the first time a series that I really love is being adapted. So without further ado, let's get into it after the Ein Trizzle. So alright, my pals, don't forget to like and subscribe.
In games, we say, try to sweat every pixel. They're sweating every pixel on the show.
And this is the first time an adaptation for a game that I really like, a game series that I really enjoy and love since Fallout 3. So I just can't wait. So I wanted to take a look at all the new videos. Like this past week alone, they've dropped a ton of new videos. Prime has dropped videos, and a lot of different interviews have been showing up, and they all show tiny little snippets of they're always showing tiny little snippets of the show that we haven't seen yet. So I wanted to just go through all that stuff and see if I can find any new information, any new nuggets. And they're dropping the entire season at once too, which is awesome. So that means I can watch all of it and then have a review by next week sometime. See if we can learn any more information and see if we find out any Easter eggs. So Prime dropped a video just yesterday, Console the Camera. It's also on the Bethesda channel, which, you know, is the channel that is owned by Xbox. And there's actually a tiny little shot in this clip of the man himself, Mr. Phil Spencer, and it was kind of interesting to see him there because Phil never really does anything without it meaning something. Anyone who knows Phil, pretty much everything he does has some sort of meaning to it. But in this case, who knows? He could have just been there to hang out, but it was cool that he's on set. There's a shot of him on set with Todd Howard. Who knows what that's about? I'd love to know more about that. But right away, this video starts off with an interesting shot right here. As we can see, Lucy is doing some type of ceremony. Looks like she's getting married, but I'm curious to see who she's marrying. We have no idea. They don't show who that person is.
They're sweating every pixel on the show.
A nice shot here of the giant vault door turning, but it does say 32. That's interesting. I've actually never noticed that till just now. The show takes place in a Vault 33, but we're seeing a Vault 32 door open. So that's actually brand new information to me. Did they go to a different vault just to marry this person, and then that's when all hell breaks loose? Earlier trailers, it made us led to believe that it was all going to happen in 33. So why this is 32? Who knows? This is a pretty iconic shot, actually. Like, it looks so much like the game. Like, this shot has been in the games so many times and on covers of the game. Right, so there you go. Marriage application approved. And yet it has all the little things that are in the Pip-Boy. If you played the game, this is exactly what it looks like in the game. She's submitting her reasons for getting married.
Like the games, the show is another installment in the world of Fallout. It's authentic to the world of Fallout.
So here's a shot again with Lucy where she's missing a shoe like I've seen before. So what that's about, we're still not clear why she only has one shoe. And then here's the ghoul, but it doesn't look like he's holding her captive in any way. He doesn't have his gun on her. So they connect somehow. They connect multiple times during the show, maybe in the first episode. But I would love to know what this is about and why she only has one shoe. Bacon. Here's a cool shot of a different angle of the power armor. It looks like they're doing what they did in Fallout 4, where you would climb into the armor from behind. So this is like a piece of armor that no one's in. Also just a nice behind the scenes, like there's two cameras right there. They're doing like a double shot. I love behind the scenes stuff. Just watching, see how they make it is always cool to me. Another interesting shot of all the vault dwellers, and then here's this woman who I'm thinking is Lucy's mom, but she has an eye patch, which she doesn't earlier, so this is after that moment where everyone seems to have a freak out. I love that shot of her in the first trailer where she's just shooting everybody and she has a fork in her eye, which obviously explains the eye patch. Guy over here looks like Woody Harrelson. Two people are putting the armor on the helmet on someone's head. I don't see the scarring there. This could be Maximus or just somebody else. I feel like I know too much already, but I don't care. I love it. I don't mind spoiling anything for myself personally. Spoiler alert for anyone watching this, all 10 of you. So Lucy about to walk out and but there you can see the first aid spray, classic. There's Maximus. So I'm thinking that this guy maybe dies and then he takes over the armor because he's kind of like a
isn't at the level of where you would wear the armor yet. In the games, you don't generally get it right away. In 4, you get it pretty early. But I'm wondering if there's like supposed to be some type of training to get into the armor. So when Maximus first get into it, he's not really sure how to use it. Yeah, there's a shot of the Yao Guai, which apparently is quiet enough to be able to ambush these people. And a good shot of the effects. This is probably all digital. I like to think that they have more practical. This might be practical. It looks really good. Probably all digital, but I kind of wish they wouldn't stop relying on digital so much. This shot here is interesting to me. I'm thinking this is Walton's character before he turned into the ghoul. It's making me think that this could be Walton's character, Cooper Howard, and used to be an actor, turning into the ghoul. But that hair is kind of similar to Walton's hair, so that's what I'm thinking. He's kind of, I don't know if he turned into the ghoul immediately after the bombs dropped. Yeah, you can see the pain, like definitely Walton. He's like changing, and maybe he's just having the memories of losing his family, which is pretty awful. The suit he's wearing isn't like the one that he wore, the cowboy type one that he wore in the earlier trailers. Yeah, he looks pretty torn up there. Walton's such a good actor. Have you ever seen the shot before where I think Maximus is filling Lucy in on what happened all the entire time she's been in the vault? And he says that great line that I actually really like of like, everyone wants to, accomplish the same thing. They just have different ways of doing it. Just to see it's behind the scenes, so there's no extra effects of how this person can walk around pretty easily in the armor. This shot here is interesting because that's definitely the Cooper Howard version of Walton, but here's Vault Dwellers. I think this is part of that commercial that he does for the Vault, and these could be just, extras. Now looking at the crew, this looks like a behind the scenes of that moment where Cooper Howard's character is making the commercial. So this could be the behind the scenes of that and not of the actual show. But they are wearing masks, so maybe they're between shots. He's doing his commercial for Vault-Tec, and these are the people that are in the commercial like, hey, Vault-Tec's amazing. Come live in Vault-Tec. La 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 la. He kind of has his actor face on like, yeah, I'm Cooper Howard. Good to meet you. Another pre-effects shot of the door opening. Actual shots, you can see all the detail. See, that's how much digital work that's done. It almost seemed to be too much. Like, they didn't even bother designing the door properly because it looks so real in the trailer, but it's actually just this, and then they add the effects later. To me, that's kind of overdoing the CGI. I feel like at the end of the day, it would be cheaper to do it practically, but I dig this shot because it's a clear shot of a stunt double walking in the armor. Like, it's not a effects added shot like from their other trailers. This is the behind the scenes, and you can see how easily they're able to walk around in this huge armor. Like, I'm sure this is as light as it could possibly be. They likely have taller actors in there to make the armor look bigger than it is, because it adds like a foot to your height when you get into it. It definitely leads into the scene where they go to the cave, and then this guy gets attacked. My man Maximus takes over the armor. I have a feeling I'm pretty accurate. Not in a cocky way, I just feel like this could be what's happening. So another cool wide shot of like just junk. It just says downtown, open 24 hours. So is she going to Philly? Is this the Philly town? And there's some people there, look like, dwellers of this city, wastelanders, I guess. The one thing I'm curious about is when she first leaves the vault, why isn't she wearing a gas mask? Like, if they have no clue what the world is like now, why would she leave the vault without any protection, any breathing protection? They know it's not as irradiated as they think it is. Who knows? All these questions and more will be answered on April 11th. This is a classroom shot. Got the abacuses going on, the old school, like these are like an old school of like when the bombs first dropped. They're still stuck in like the 1940s or the 50s or whenever it happens. I think it's the mid 50s. This shot here, Kyle McClanahan. Yeah, he's younger, obviously. Like, it looks like he's been de-aged a little, like just by his hair. A weird look on both their faces. Do you really want to get married? Like, do you know this guy? Like, is it kind of just an arranged marriage? Yeah, I like him enough to get married. Or maybe it's even a woman. Maybe she's marrying a woman. You're not allowed to assume anymore. There's Mrs. Ella. Oh, it's so beautiful. The game is beautiful. I like it so much. I'm assuming they use Nuka-Cola caps as money out in the wasteland. This is another shot that I see interesting. There's these 3 people that are on the council that Lucy I guess she needs to be approved to get married. I think this is Leslie Uggams, who played the hilarious blind lady in the Deadpool movies. But it's like they're going through the thing and they're all deciding, all right, later, do we approve it or do we not approve it? And of course we have the guy from Severance, who I forget his name, but he's definitely the comedy relief character. You can just kind of tell from his face Some more great shots of the behind the scenes with the power armor. I'm pretty fascinated with how well it's designed, but it also looks very mobile and not heavy or clunky as it would be if it was actually as heavy as it is. Yeah, the ghoul is aiming her gun at Lucy we've seen before, but what that's about we don't know yet. So the attention to detail is pretty sick. Like just even on the knuckles, there's just like little hinges there. It's curious, all these different relationships and how they get connected and what the order is in, because, you know, usually trailers are in the chronological order of the story. But I'm sure this stunt guy is like probably over 6 feet for sure. And even up close, it looks pretty good, like with the whole beat up style to it. I'm getting a lot out of this 1 3-minute video. Yeah, you can see here, like, I'm wondering if he's standing on anything or that's just how tall he is. It's probably just how tall he is. It would be kind of awkward to be standing on platform shoes in this kind of world. It's a really sweet shot of the full suit with the scratches right there and there. Or even in the background, like far off, there's like, this is a behind the scenes, so it's not effects, and there's a building there. Like even the bricks look real. It's all styrofoam, but they're really good at making styrofoam look like real stuff. Be curious to know what the Pip-Boys are made from. Another really sweet close-up shot, the Vault Boy, or sorry, I keep calling him Vault Boy, the Pip-Boy, and how exactly like the game it is. The Connect, that's a new thing, that's not on the original one, but this is like the scene, this is the shot where you're injured, and you're injured at 5 different points on your body. But how that will play out in the show, I'm not sure. But inventory, data, map, radio, I mean, it'd be funny to see how big the inventory moment is, because, you know, if you play a Bethesda game, you know that you're going to be spending a lot of time in your inventory, managing it. Like me, I pick up everything, so I'm that annoying guy that spends half the game in an inventory screen. This isn't something I've never seen in the games, like, it's probably malfunctioning or something. When she goes out in the real world, how these Vault Boys work, like, what are they connected to? Is there a radio signal or Wi-Fi or something that they use to get it to keep working? Like, why doesn't the battery ever die? Which I'm glad they never did that in the game. This shot here, tracked. Like, what does that mean? Like, she's tracking something. That's the exact arrow that's in the game. Then there's a big smiley Vault Boy face, so she's heading for that, but whatever that is, another vault maybe. But even all around it, the map is pretty bland. There's like not much there. So another shot of the ghoul putting in a VHS of his old work. But whatever this isn't a straight up VHS. I mean, it looks like one, but they've like modded it and it looks way more interesting in the Radiation King TV, which is kind of a tongue-in-cheek joke about older original. When TVs came out, they actually had a lot of radiation coming off it. But they even like modify cassette tapes for a millisecond of a shot. And we see him reminiscing again. And there's that foot. And I'm wondering if that's Lucy with her, like, one shoe. Yeah, that's the chair that got knocked over, so was she sitting in it and did she fall back or something? Like, what's that about? Maybe the ghoul and her were hanging out as friends, and he got her all high on his drugs. Because he's, like, a huge drug addict. So maybe she had a little bit and it knocked her on her ass. So I'm wondering he just watches videos of himself all day? That'd be pretty depressing. They're in that mall, so yeah, I'm thinking that's where they were going. They met near that body of water, lake or whatever, and then they go here, but whether he's forcing her to go there or not, I'm not clear on that. Yeah, the ghoul, Cooper Howard, an actor, doing a Western. This is the same suit he was wearing in that scene from the trailer where the bombs officially drop and he's running off with his daughter.
I took a lot of meetings and had conversations, and I was always sort of, well, it's not really quite clicking for me.
Everything changed when Todd and Howard.
Clicking for me. Well, it's not really quite clicking for me.
According to Merritt. Yeah, this shot here is Lucy. She seems to be pleading her case as to why she needs to get married, why that's a thing. Being with the vault life being so like structured, then that's how it would work. It's like if you want to get married, you have to like apply for it. You can't just be like, hey, I love this person, let's get married. And then there's another shot of this council who are kind of like, okay, she's great, we love her, let's make her. And you can see they're using like chalk tablets, so the technology is obviously very old in this world. But even in the background, you can see all the little details, and they're kind of smiling at each other. They're like, okay, let's approve her. She's good. Like, this connects to the earlier shot of them kind of fiddling with their Pip-Boys to officially approve her to get married. Let's do it, guys. Yeah, she's great. We love her. Then here comes the shot that's interesting to me the most. There's Todd on the scene. Yeah, I would be on this set all day long. If I'm like, a movie's being made of something that, even though Todd didn't create it, it was created years earlier with Interplay, but they bought the license and they turned it into what Fallout is known today. This shot here, very interesting to me. Mr. Phil Spencer from Xbox. Why is he there? I would love to know. To me, that's interesting because he's with Xbox and they own Bethesda. So is that the only reason why he's there? Because, you know, no one else from other companies, like I'm sure some people from PlayStations are definitely not there. So why is Phil Spencer there on set? Did he just drop by for a visit one day? Is he like involved in the producing of the show somehow? I wish I had that hat. Jealous. People who work on movies get pretty sweet swag. I've been on movie sets where I see people wearing like a jacket or a shirt from like a really cool movie they worked on, and I'm like, I'm kind of jealous because that's a super rare item you're wearing now. I bet you they sell some of it. I would. If you're like one of 100 people who own like a very limited shirt from like a show or a movie and you're hard up for money, why not sell it? But I'm really curious about Phil and why he's there. Mr. Jonathan Nolan. Yeah, birthday cake. There's the cake. Looks like it's the cake from the trailers where it's like, congratulations, you're getting married thing or whatnot. All the old school 40s and 50s style technology that they still use.
He and I hit it off. First phone conversation. It was very clear he had played the games and loved them and had a vision for what it could be on the screen. We were really, really patient. And once we found that, it was very clear to us, this is the right way to bring Fallout to the screen. Just like we approached.
So yeah, interesting to hear Todd talk about how often he's been pitched, because I've heard him say this before, that yeah, people have approached him about doing a show or a movie, and it wasn't until Jonathan Nolan showed up and he's like, they clicked, they hit it off. Todd's like, yeah, this guy, the angle this guy is going for, I like. This is how to do it. So, plus, you know, Nolan has a really great background. I mean, obviously, he's the brother of Christopher Nolan, who just won another Oscar. He won an Oscar for Oppenheimer, I think it was Best Director. And then now, Jonathan Nolan is kicking butt with the TV, making the Westworld, and now he's doing this. Stop.
It's a dream come true for me as a director because you're picking up the mantle of something that so many talented writers and artists have worked on for so many decades. And we knew that we wanted to tell an original story within the Fallout universe.
So here's the opposite of that shot of earlier where the door is opening and it's Vault 32. So this is probably an odd moment for them. Like, this is the first time they've ever seen anyone from another vault. But why 32 and 33 are connecting? I guess Lucy's marrying someone from there, and I'm assuming she's never even met this person. And they don't seem to even get to who this person is that she's marrying before everything goes down. And does that go down in 33 or 32? I'm really curious as to how they connect. Like this 33, that's 32. Are they somehow connected under the ground and they can just go back and forth? Or because there's obviously no way they just left and went into the world and like walked to this other vault. Because, you know, no one's left the vault in a million years. So how this connects is also something I'm really interested to learn. As you can see, the 32 in the background, and is this the guy that she's marrying? Like, whoever she's marrying isn't dressed up, so that's rude. She's wearing this nice pretty dress, and this guy over here is like, whatever, I'm just gonna wear my fucking vault uniform. I don't know why the guy talks like that. Yeah, an interesting shot of young Maximus. I'm sure that's him. And kind of mirroring the next shot of Lucy covering her eyes. I feel like this isn't him covering his eyes, it's him saluting the Brotherhood of Steel, like, yes. And I can definitely tell from the later shots that he becomes disillusioned with the Brotherhood of Steel. It's not what he thought it would be. And he probably, like, not fights back, but he decides to fight in the way that he feels is right. Because I guess there's something the Brotherhood of Steel is doing that he doesn't agree with. And he realizes later on, like, this is not what I signed up for, so do I still want to do this? Right? Kind of the mirroring shot, but here she's just covering up the sun because she's never seen it before in her life. Yeah, that same shot from before, that reminds me of Fire Harbor, I keep saying, but this is not Fire Harbor. It takes place in California, so it's a whole new game, essentially, in a way, that's live action instead. So she hasn't used her little role yet, so this looks like it's the first day and she hasn't gone to sleep. But if that's all she has to sleep on, then she's not going to be very comfortable.
That Fallout is so famous for. So a vault dweller, a ghoul, a member of the Brotherhood.
So this shot here is interesting, as this connects to the shot that we see where everything kind of just goes haywire. Right, so you can see a couple 32s, though most of them are 33, so could this be the first time they've ever met a different vault? Like they're all getting together for this ceremony. Lucy's right there, but if she's getting married, who is the person she's marrying? Is it that guy right there? Everybody else is just wearing their suits. And she's the only one wearing the wedding, the gown. In the background, the fake world that I'm still unclear if they know that's fake. I mean, I'm sure they know it's fake. If they tried to walk into it, they would just hit the screen. And this corn almost looks like it's not real, like, or sunflowers. Yeah, there's sunflowers everywhere. What's that about? I'm sensing a theme of sunflowers. And that looks like it's Lucy's mom right next to her. I'm noticing like new things I've never noticed, like right now. Yes, and there's the overseer, like, yes, my daughter, my beautiful daughter is finally getting married. Somewhere along the way, something happens right here that makes everything just go to shit, which has not been revealed yet. Interesting to see that she's smiling in this new world that's so far probably scaring the crap out of her. This shot here is interesting because I'm wondering if this is definitely giving me cult vibes of some type of faction. Did he decide to go and join this cult after when he become disillusioned with the Brotherhood of Steel? Like he has this very serious look on his face. Like in none of the shots, basically, you don't see Maximus smiling other than earlier on before he gets disillusioned. But what's happening here is curious. It's like they're about to maybe whip him or something. Yeah. Right there, that looks like something that he could be whipped with. Like he's pulling his shirt off, and I'm like, what's that about? No, this is the Brotherhood of Steel. I thought it was a cult, but... So the Brotherhood of Steel is some kind of weird cult type of system? Or is this kind of like the induction ceremony of like, okay, you're no longer a rookie. You're now a next level BOS. Yeah, here's this guy. I was like, he's blessing them or something in a way. Like some kind of... That reminds me of the smelly crap they used to use at church when I had to go to church as a kid. The priest would come out with this smoky thing and like shake it, and I never understood that. But another good shot of all the Brotherhood of Steel armor, and some of them are a little taller than others, or that just could be the perspective. So it's some type of like induction ceremony. This is an interesting shot here because it looks like it's in one of the towns like Philly, and this guy, maybe he's a criminal or maybe he's a cult leader. I'm definitely getting some cult vibes somewhere along the way. Just like in Megaton in Fallout 3, there was this cult that was obsessed with the giant bomb that was in the middle of their town. Like they believed it was a sign from a god or something. But then at the end of the day, it ended up blowing up. Or it blew up if you decided to blow it up, which was one of those huge kind of decisions in any game I've played. I was like, do you want to blow up this entire town or not? So I can't tell if this guy has his arms up and because he's being arrested. But to me, it looks more like he's some kind of cult leader and he's like, listen to me, friends. The Brotherhood of Steel is bullshit or something. Who this is, we have no idea. Someone who probably believes in this cult. Yeah, there's that guy again. So who this guy is, we don't know yet. He seems to be maybe indoctrinating people. He has like a little fish eye there. His face is all scarred up. So this is a brand new character I've never seen. I'm wondering how much they're in the story. Yeah, another shot of the eyes. She's just like, I've never seen this before. Man, her eyes are so big. It's like they're unnaturally large, but that works Like, I'm feeling like this is the main reason they gave her the job, was her eyes, were like basically tell you everything you need to know about her just from her eyes. The world of Fallout.
She is doing her duty. She's rebuilding America. And then she really has her whole world rocked. She comes out onto the surface and experiences, and then it gets time. Excuse me. She comes.
So another shot of Lucy doing some work. Maybe this is her position of some sort when you get to a certain age. They're like, all right, this is what your job's going to be. And there's her mom, pregnant. I keep assuming that's her mom. I see the other one a lot. I'm assuming that's her mom. Or maybe just her best friend, but I think it's her mom. But it's interesting to know how tan she is. Like, if this person's never seen the sunlight ever, shouldn't everybody down here be... Fuck you. I mean, even looking at this right now, I'm like, okay, why is she so tanned? Like, if they're underground and they've been underground for their entire lives, shouldn't they all be just pale? Like, that's one thing that I just looked at. I'm like, why is she so tanned? And if they've never seen the light of day, then they should all be white as a ghost. Should they? She's very proud of herself for fixing whatever that is. Yay, way to go. Way to go, man. So here's this shot from earlier where she's pleading her case as to why I should be married. So it's kind of a good, character intro moment, because she's straight up just telling her, this is who I am and what I do. And she's saying that she's helping rebuild America. But if it's been 200 years, why are they still underground? She has a smile on her face all the time. And I'm wondering if that's like, I wonder if that smile is induced in some way by the experiment that they're probably not aware of that's being done in the vault. Everyone is so like smiley and happy and perfect, and then she gets her world rocked, just like she said. Another classroom scene, but earlier there was a tables had like abacuses on them, and now they don't. Oh, here we go. This is a nice little shot. It straight up tells you 1776 Declaration of Independence, 1969. I forget if that's an emblem from the game, but here it says 2077. There's something about that year that people seem to dig, like Cyberpunk 2077. Like, I don't know why that's the year they picked, but now here they picked the year. Maybe in some kind of weird sci-fi world, all the sci-fi creators agreed, hey, 2077 is our favorite year. I don't know. I don't know what this symbol means. If it's from the games, I'm forgetting what it is. So, but it looks like she's teaching a class, and with her mom, like, hi, today class, we're going to learn about why the drums dropped or whatever, or achieve perfection. Yeah, that's definitely the vibe I'm getting in total of, like, everything has to be perfect all the time. You can't screw up. They've been raised to believe that you're not able to screw up in any way. And then when they start screwing up, it's like a whole new thing. Yeah, so this is the scene here where everything goes to hell, but what exactly is happening? Definitely interested as to what that's about. So another unusual shot here, and this is not someone I've seen before, but why this lady is coming down off this bungee cord or something kind of. She's attacking these people, and right there's another person who's not dressed.
So who this woman is and why she's attacking, it's unclear. Even the explosions in the background look like they're still being projected. Like, they don't look real. Like, all of this is being projected. And, I mean, it's even unusual right there. Like, that looks like a line of trees, but underneath the explosion is there, so it's weird. But who this person is, and she's somehow coming down off the lights and attacking this person. She's not wearing the entire suit. You can see it's been tied around her waist, but then someone in the background is also not wearing the suit, so it's like a whole other cult or faction. Somehow comes out of nowhere. Like, I don't know how that happens. Maybe they're from the Vault 32. That I'm still curious as hell as to how two vaults can connect underground. What's going on here? I don't know. You can see the other guy. Actually, right there, that looks like a hall, like a hole towards something. Like, that's where the screen ends, and that right there is entrance to the hallway. Do they always know that's there? Like, do they know that this is just a projection of the world? These people are being attacked. This guy over down here doesn't have a vault suit on either.
Yeah, what was it that stood out to you about Fallout?
That is a tone.
The tone of it was something I'd never really experienced before. I didn't know anything about the games other than that they were, that it was, and I had never, from the beginning of that game, I'd never experienced anything that was dark, emotional, super violent, but also funny, satirical, politically subversive, weird. There's something about these games that's common through all the games that is unlike anything that I really experienced before. And so I think that for us was the jumping off point and the biggest challenge in the adaptation.
And how was it pitching it to Howard?
It was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
This really started from the beginning of Todd and I kind of pitching each other on the idea of making this work. He'd long wanted to sit down. He'd long wanted to sit down with me. And I had been a huge fan of his work. And so really right from that beginning, when you just hit it off with someone, you kind of have that rapport immediately. We had one lunch and knew from that lunch that we were going to go.